Hello everyone, this is Hahano here, playing a game on Lee Sin and commentating. Lee Sin is one of my favorite junglers, extremely strong. This is a custom game that we're playing. Both teams are pre-arranged 5. And this is in the old jungle, but everything here still applies to the new jungle. So, loading up here on my toaster. As you guys know, my computer is not the best, but moving along. So we have a kind of strange lane set up here. We're going to have Sion mid, AP Sion. He's my friend Chut. Probably seen him in a lot of these videos. We have a Karma Graves bottom lane, and Soraka top lane. So, interesting choices. Soraka's not the best top lane, but this game ends up working out. I try to pick games that aren't just stomps, but this game we do really well. It's a 20-minute surrender on their end. So, I start off, I always go Cloth 5 on Lee Sin. You can go Vamp Scepter, but I really like to gank on Lee Sin. It's my favorite thing. His ganks are very strong, and with the Vamp Scepter you really can't gank as much because you're lower life. The potions sustain you even after the patch. They do really good things for you. So here we are, we're just gathering as 5. When you're pre-made, you should all gather somewhere, whether it be here or red or wherever your first jungling objective is. So we're sitting here around blue. Even though I'm not taking blue, I'm gonna go wolves. I actually go smite big wraith into wolves so I can have that level 2 gank if I want. This does not work on the new jungle. I don't think it does, at least. I think you have to clear both to get level 2. But in the old jungle, I experimented a lot with different level 2 routes for Lee Sin in order to gank whichever lanes. So I'm heading over there now. On bottom lane, it's really easy, or it used to be really easy. You just did golems and then your level 2 gank on bottom lane. But I was trying to do a level 2 gank from top side on bottom lane, so that's why I smite wraith and go wolves. The new jungle, he's really able to go anywhere, start anywhere, do anything. He's extremely sustained and fast. Great jungler. Lee Sin is one of the best. And another thing you want to do on Lee Sin, which guides tell you, you want to meter your abilities. So for E, it resets your auto attack, so you want to attack E right away, get your 2 attacks in, E again, get your 2 attacks in for his flurry passive. This makes his jungle really quick. So right here, I'm gauging whether I want to go bottom lane or not. I decide to go bottom lane. I'm looking at their health and their push status. So I take Q. Note, if I hadn't been ganking a lane, I would not have taken Q, I would have gone W. I noticed bottom's just got pushed out. Mid is also pushing up. I know Sion has a stun in a level, so I'm waiting here for him to hit level 2 and for Annie to extend some more, but she does not extend. So that was in vain. It was a good idea, but just didn't work out. So from there, I noticed that I'm already near their jungle, so I'm trying to catch Tryndamere in here. Tryndamere is not strong in the very early levels. He's not very sustained. He takes a lot of damage from the jungle creeps, and he doesn't have endless rage. So if you're playing against a Tryndamere, which I am in this game, and you're a strong level 1 or low level, like Lee Sin, Skarner, it's a pretty good idea to go in on his jungle as long as you do it safely, because he probably won't be able to repel you as well he'd like to. So I'm clearing out my Wraith camp now, finishing it up. Now note this is still the old jungle, so these guys still give a decent amount of experience and gold for that. So I noticed that top lane is pretty pushed in. This Shyvana is pushing Soraka pretty hard. I'm on my way up there. I'm talking to her now. She said she doesn't need help right away. So the tower's not taking damage because Shyvana's not ranged. So it's not a huge threat. I'm gonna take my time to get there. I pick up my W now and I go around for the gank. Now here I tell Soraka to fight Shyvana. This is baiting. basically. Shyvana knows that she can beat Soraka in a one-on-one fight right now, and that she's pushed her really hard. So when Soraka goes to fight, he really just takes it as an opportunity to just get a free kill. So I come in after the bait, she takes the bait, tries to juke us through the bushes. She tries to juke my Q right there, but I didn't throw it out. You don't want to throw your Q out unless you have a guaranteed Q most times. So free first blood. That's why you take exhaust on Lee Sin. It exhausted her, and then her movement speed is dropped significantly. So that was basically free first blood for us because she was really greedy on Soraka. You shouldn't push that hard in top lane, especially if they have a good ganking jungler. So back to the jungle, taking my red, monitoring the other lanes from time to time. Bottom is still pushing pretty hard. Our bottom. They're up pretty high. Middle is a huge stalemate. They're not doing much. I mean, Annie's harassment isn't enough to drive Cyan out of the lane, and Cyan can't necessarily just pop killer in the early levels. He can't kill anyone in the early levels. So I noticed that Soraka here was really low life, and Shyvana might have dove her at the tower, so I went up for a while until I saw that Shyvana had come back down. You see, the whole time I'm still juggling my skills well. So I see that Tryndamere's been spotted here doing wraiths. We just spotted Shyvana coming down river. I see she had gone back up river. So here I'm just waiting around for Tryndamere. I'm not sure if he's going to come on our mid because he knows he was clairvoyanced, he knows he was there. So instead I decided to go in on him. Now this is risky counter jungling right here because of how far Shyvana's pushed up, and you'll see that in a minute. So I get in, I realize that Annie and Shyvana have gone missing, so I'm getting her out immediately. Otherwise I would have died. So if you notice, Annie came back, but Shyvana did come for me. So I communicate to Soraka and just got out the Lee Sin way, which is really strong. That was turning a potentially bad situation for me into a neutral situation. You know, Shyvana lost a little farm. Tryndamere didn't lose anything, it was more just I lost some health. Because this is a pre-made 5, I take a lot more risks on the surface, but because I have communication with my team, it ends up working out in most situations because I'm telling them to come help me, come here, be there. In a solo queue situation, what I just did was suicide because Soraka wouldn't have come down and I likely would have died. So you want to be a lot safer with your counter jungling than that. And I do have safer counter jungling in this video as well. So they drive Cyan out of middle. I go to support mid because I notice that they're beating up on the tower. It's never good. You don't want your tower to take any damage, really. So I get in, deal some damage, make Annie waste more of her mana. I did lose a lot of life there, but the amount of mana that Annie lost is really more important than any life I have because I have potions still and Lee Sin's really sustained. If I were a level lower, that might have been a bad idea, but I run flat magic resist so I can gank early and often, so she didn't have enough to burst me out of the lane. I had also noticed that she used her ultimate on Cyan before, so that's always a plus. So here, one of the biggest strengths of Lee Sin, you're able to give blue away. I just beat it down till it's low and then hold H, which makes you hold. You don't attack if you notice he's just slamming on me. Cyan took a little bit to respond, but he was clearing his wave. So now Cyan has blue, and this is one of the best things about Lee Sin. He's able to give his blue buff away because he doesn't need it. You still pick up the experience, you still do everything, but the only difference is you don't need blue, so you can give it away early and often, which is awesome. Very, very strong. Tryndamere's camping top lane. I noticed he took my wraiths prior, which is fine with me.
An enemy has been slain.
I'm not really worried about Tryndamere right now. He didn't take my golems, which is good, because taking wraiths and golems might have hurt. But I hit 6. I believe Tryndamere is still 5. Yeah. So I have 400 gold now. I go back, I buy my null magic. I believe. Oh, just more potions. At that point, I could have picked up a null magic for my Merc Treads eventually. I think I wasn't really paying attention and went back. I should have gone back at 450 to pick up my Vamp Scepter. But having the magic resist is helpful against high early bursts like Annie. But I didn't pick it up this game. This early, at least. So I noticed Scion's going back, so that's why I'm kind of floundering here. My race just spawned, so I'm going to take them. Top lane's also in trouble. So you need to really juggle what you're doing. I have wasted a good amount of time here, but only because they have been smart enough to pull off of a fight. If Shyvana had engaged or Annie had engaged, I really would have had enough. I would have been close enough to get there in time, so even though I lost a few seconds in the jungle and some farm time, in the end, the benefits of doing that are better than the cons. So here we see V Tryndamere. We see him getting blue. We also see Annie leave mid, so I'm waiting here. They don't know I'm here. We jump on Annie. I know Scion's here. It's the only reason I gauge. So I kick Annie right at Scion, and then I exhaust Tryndamere so that he can't kill me. And then we get out of there. So Scion picked up blue there. Shyvana comes down from top lane, which is good for her, but I'm Lee Sin, so I get a bunch of burst damage in, and then warp out of there. So Lee Sin's really good. So right there, Shyvana was going after me. It was a good idea to go after me, considering the situation. She was dead no matter what. There was no way she was escaping Scion and Soraka. So she just consigned herself to her fate and tried to take me down. But I was able to Q and W out of there. And this is one of the, again, back to the sustain on Lee Sin. This is extremely strong, especially in the new jungle. You never have to leave the jungle, ever. You don't have to recall, you don't have to get more potions, you don't have to do anything. You just use your W to farm up and shield, and I actually gain life while being in the jungle, which is somewhat like Udyr. But because I have no mana, it's awesome. He's extremely sustained. So I was going to go do my wolves there. Scion's going bottom. I always like to go and support my mid laners just in case anything happens. So he's going to gank bottom. And bottom lane saw him coming, so they're hiding. They're hugging on the tower, and they'll have full life. So overall it was a waste of time, but it's Scion with roaming boots. Boots of speed, or mobility. So he didn't waste much time at all. That's what he's trying to do this game. He's trying to roam. So he goes back to mid, picks up his farm as usual. Nothing really changed. He only wasted... I actually don't think he lost any CS from that because of how fast he is. Scion can actually burst his shield, take a wave down, get to another lane, gank right away, and get back before he loses any CS. So Scion's now, he cleared his wave, he's heading top now for Shyvana. I'm also heading top because Annie's missing, Tryndamere's missing, we don't know where people are. So you always want to go to the fight even if it is 2 or 3 versus 1 because that can easily change. So Shyvana's trying to juke us out. Scion lands a stun. She makes it out, but because of the stun, the tower takes her down, and Scion picks up the kill. It was close on the timing, but in the end, he got the kill anyway. So here I noticed that their blue's back up. I'm on my way down there to pick up their blue. We picked up their last blue, if you remember. I see that it's there. I don't need it for myself, and Scion just recalled, so I'm not going to take it just yet. But I know it's now there, so when Scion gets back, we go and steal it from them again. Which is really powerful. You want to be able to steal their buffs. It prevents them from playing the game properly, and an AP carry with blue buff versus an AP carry without blue buff is a significant advantage in your favor. So we're just messing around. I'm staying on this half of the jungle so that we can take blue. Sion clears his wave. I tell him to come to blue now. We CV it to make sure it's still there. So hop over the wall, get the blue down, and we give it to Sion. Shyvana sees us. She's coming. That means that everybody else is coming. So we're going to have a little bit of a fight here. At least we would have a fight if we didn't have Sion, but Sion just is able to take a ton of punishment and does a lot of damage. So Soraka ultimate goes down. We come back into this fight after Sion had taken most of their damage. Tryndamere's low. I exhaust him again right here to save Sion. And then I see that he juked away. So he lives to see another day. But I'm going to take his wolves for it. Shyvana's still here. So we go to try and pick up the kill on her. But she lives to see another day as well. But it's still fine. We won out on that engagement. We got our AP carry blue buff. We got their AP carry killed. So, and Shyvana's pretty low life. She went back to lane. I'm waiting here in case she runs away. But she actually goes into the top bush to recall. So she's extremely low, so I come up, take a few turret hits because I'm full life. She runs away again, almost killing Soraka, but I warp to Soraka. And we take her down. She's really durable. Almost killed Soraka even after I was there. So here, after I cleared the lane, I'm pushing it because I can do damage to this tower. If you see, I have 2 waves here built up, so I'm trying to get as much damage on this tower as possible. Then I see that Tryndamere's here, so I don't bother finishing or hitting the tower at all because it's just, if he had mocking shouted me, I was dead. So I get out. I know in one of my guides I say you shouldn't push except in situations like that, and that's one of them because I knew for a fact that I could get damage, a lot of damage. I almost could have taken that tower down if I was left alone. But Tryndamere came, it was a good move on his part. Just picking up more of my jungle here. Sion's going bottom again. He's been roaming really well this game. Tryndamere's trying to enter my jungle here. Now, Tryndamere we've killed or starved most of the times. I'm really not scared of Tryndamere at all. I save my smite. I take him down. He could have stolen it if I hadn't done that or if I used my smite bursts, so you always have to use smite properly. Tryndamere spins over the wall. Standard procedure kind of stuff. I noticed that the top tower's getting hit, so I'm going to jump on Shyvana here. She backs off. She saw us coming. I think they'd CV'd us on the way there. So I leave the farm for Soraka. You shouldn't take all the farm as a jungler, even if it is Soraka. And I touched on this in, I think it was my Maokai video. I really sit on a ton of gold, so I had, 2,800 gold right there. I pick up a brutalizer. I almost never get a brutalizer, but this game I'm 4-0. We're 8-0 total as a team, so I'm really looking to compound our advantage instead of giving it away. So I pick up a damage item so that I can better deal damage. So Sion's taking care of bottom lane again. I noticed that mid's going to push a little bit, so I go support mid, so it doesn't take any more damage on the tower. So Sion's back, I don't take the rest of his farm. And blue's up, so I give him blue again. And this is something that you really need to do on Lee Sin, and it's powerful. On almost any jungler you want to be doing this, because blue buff is much better on AP casters most of the time, with few exceptions. I mean, it's pretty strong on Skarner. So, one thing we haven't done this game is picked up a dragon, but we're really doing well in all the other aspects. We haven't had much time. They do dragon. Typically you want to do dragon after bottom lane has been ganked, but I haven't been bottom lane all game because it's been winning. So we're here fishing for Shyvana and Tryndamere. We instead jump on Annie, who gets instant killed pretty much.
Rampage.
So that's that. I warped over to Scion to land a Q and the ultimate on her. Now here, I noticed that the tower's low, and there's 2 of us here, so we turn to take the tower. This is something you should do. If I had left, he might not have gotten that tower because he was taking tower hits there. So this is something you want to do if you gank a lane and you win the lane, and people are driven out of it. You want to try and take that tower. So their blue's back up, so we're going to take it again, even though I just gave Scion blue. So, and then I noticed that top tower is down, or it's low, and we're pushed, and top lane is gone. So we come take this tower from full. So what turned into a buff steal turned into a tower. Overall, really advantageous for us because we can go back and still take blue. Tryndamere is here, but it doesn't matter because he is seriously underdeveloped. So, and that's the thing. If you saw right there, you can do on Lee Sin for Tryndamere. You land your Q on him when he endless rages, and then you wait. And then once his endless rage is done, you just Q and you teleport, kick him in the face. So that's a good strategy, a little trick. And at this point, they've GG'd. It's 12-0. We're picking up Dragon right now. We have 2 towers. This game's completely over. So the power of Lee Sin really carried us through this game with some excellent ganks on the lanes, some awesome presence in the game, and Lee Sin combined with Scion getting blue buff enabled him to roam and enabled us to win this game. So hope you enjoyed, and until next time.